Hi, Blazing Yeti here. Today I have a guide to the nightclub, everything you need to know and more. So let's get right into it. What nightclub should you buy? Well, any of them. They're all in pretty good locations. I picked this one because it's on the same road as my other businesses, so I suggest getting one that's close to your businesses. Not necessary, seeing as this is mainly a passive income business, so you won't be going to there that often. So when it comes to the upgrades, what upgrades do you need for the nightclub? You don't really need to bother with the customizations, but there are some pretty cool ones that make your nightclub look pretty good, but definitely not necessary. However, when it comes to the storage, this is necessary because it allows you to hold more passive stock. The more storage you have, the more stock you can hold. It will, however, set you back 1.7 million to buy all of the storage, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. The garage space, you don't need it, but it is a lot of good space. So if you're a very avid car collector, then this is a must-have garage. So once you've purchased it, you want to head on over to your nightclub, and like all of these businesses, you will have to do a setup mission. However, this time there are 3 setup missions to do. First of all, we're going to need to go and collect the staff for the nightclub. Very simple, you just go around, pick them up in the car and take them back to the club. Secondly, you will need to go and get the DJ equipment, bring that back to the club. And then last but not least, you need to go and get your first DJ Solomon. There's a fun little mission to go and pick him up. Once you've picked him up, your nightclub is set up somewhat. So once you've completed the setup, you will gain access to the nightclub computer, which is where you can run the nightclub from. First off, go straight to the upgrades page, purchase all of them. You will need all of them to run the nightclub at the maximum potential. Upgrades are pretty similar to most other businesses. The equipment upgrade will increase your production, meaning that you'll get stock faster. The staff will reduce how long it takes for your popularity bar to fall, and the security will increase the time it would take for a raid to kick in. The next page you want to look at is the warehouse management. Now this one can get a little bit complicated, but basically all you need to know is that the goods correlate to the other businesses. So cargo and shipment is the hangar, sporting goods is the bunker, South American imports is the coke, pharmaceutical research is meth, organic produce is weed, printing and copying is document forgery, and cash creation is the counterfeit cash. These will have no impact on your businesses, but your businesses will have an impact on these. So if you produce in your business while having a technician assigned to one of these, they will actually occur slightly more product than normal. So you will only be able to assign 1 technician to each tab. You can only have 5 technicians. Getting all 5 technicians will cost you 878,000, and then I recommend you want to assign them to these. These are the top 5 to assign them to: cargo and shipment, sporting goods, South American imports, pharmaceutical research, and cash creation, as they produce the most every single hour. However, if you're like me and you don't own a hangar yet, because I refuse to buy a hangar unless it's on offer, then I just switched out the cargo for the organic produce, and then in the future when I get a hangar, I will just switch that one over. So over time these will build up passive income, and all you have to do is sell it when the stock reaches a certain limit. When it comes to selling the stock, do not sell the bundles at the bottom. You will want to wait until you have total sellable goods that have reached over 1 million, which will take around about 20 hours of gameplay. When you actually sell, depending on how much stock that you have, it will determine the vehicle in which you will use for the mission. There are 3 vehicles. There's a small, medium and large, and depending on how much stock you have will depend on which one you use. However, all the missions are relatively similar, and you will either have to drop to 1 location or drop to a few locations, and they are all achievable solo, but they must be done in a public lobby. So the reason why you want to sell it when it gets to over 1 mil is because Tony will always take a cut every time that you sell of 10%, but this is capped at 100,000. So anything over 1 million and you won't be charged for any extra you make on that. Also, if you see a business battle going on in your lobby, then I suggest giving it a try and see if you can get that stock taken back to your nightclub. If you do, it will increase your stock slightly, just meaning that you'll get that million a lot faster. So the next page we're going to look at is nightclub management page. So this used to be pretty useless, but now thanks to recent updates it's actually become a really good way of making money. Let me explain why. So first of all, you have a popularity rating. This determines how much your nightclub will make every in-game day. So every 48 minutes this will show you how much you will make. It used to be 10k an hour, and it's now been bumped to 50k an hour, but this will decrease over time, but there are also a few ways to increase this. First of all, you can do a promotion mission, but don't suggest these because these will only increase your popularity by 1 bar in each mission, and as your you're trying to run this as a passive business, it's better to just do what I'm going to suggest. What I recommend doing is waiting until the bar goes down and switching the DJ. If you do this for the first time, it's going to cost you 100k, and then you will have to go and collect the DJ and bring them back to the club. Once you've done that, you'd never have to go and collect them again, and it will only cost you 10k each time. So whenever your bar drops a little bit, then you would just have to switch out the DJ, bring your popularity back up, and you'll be making more than 10k an hour. So it's pure profit on top of that. But that's the method on how to set up a passive business through the nightclub. However, there is something else in the nightclub which is great, and another reason why people buy it. That's the Terrorbyte. Terrorbyte can only be stored at the nightclub. When you purchase it, you will get your own special floor with it on. Now, the Terrorbyte is an amazing vehicle, and there's lots of things that you can do with it. But first of all, let's just talk about the upgrades. So you can change the interior tint. There's a few little options to choose from there. You can change the interior decals, but none of those are really necessary. The turret station is also not necessary, but it is fun, and it will help you fight off some griefers. It can lock onto 5 targets at once, and because the Terrorbyte with armor on is so bulky, it will take a lot of rockets to blow up. I think it's around 35 rockets to blow it up. The only downside to the turret is it is quite limited on how far up and down it can go. It can do a full 360, but it can only look so high in the sky, and it can only look so far down. Then you have the drone station. The drone station is needed if you want to be able to complete 2 of the client missions, but it's also quite fun just to mess around online with. It can stun players, and it can self-destruct. I'm sure you can think of all different funny combinations you can do with that. Weapons workshop. The weapons workshop is good to have because you can resupply ammo if you're stuck in a pinch, and you can also upgrade to Mark II weapons. But I wouldn't recommend doing it from here now, seeing as we have the agency building where everything is discounted. So I would suggest buying that one and upgrading your weapons there, but this is handy for ammo. And then lastly, you have the specialized workshop. You will need this if you wish to get the Mark II Oppressor and upgrade it, but I'll talk a little bit more about that one later on. So once you've purchased a Terrorbyte, you want to go to your nightclub, and there'll be a special floor for it. You're going to need to go here if you want to be able to upgrade the engine and the armor and maybe customize the look of it. But I definitely suggest putting the engine upgrades on and the armor. You just want to make it stronger and faster to survive the online. So you can enter the cab when it's in the garage, but there's not much you can really do, so you want to leave the garage. You can also call the Terrorbyte out wherever you are. All you have to do is go to your interaction menu, go to services, click Terrorbyte, and then you can request it. So once you've got the Terrorbyte outside, you can go into the cab and you can start client jobs. Quickest jobs to complete are the diamond shopping and the targeted data. If you position your Terrorbyte here, this is the closest that you can get to either one of these jobs before it stops you starting them. These missions are very simple, very straightforward, and only take you a couple of minutes to complete. However, you will not be able to repeat the same mission over and over again, as there is a 25-minute cooldown on that mission. If you want to do a different mission, there is still a cooldown of a couple of minutes. So what most people like to do is mix this in with other quick jobs, things like the agency job, payphone hits, VIP work, and stuff like that. They pay around about 30k, so they're not worth it most of the time. However, when it's a double money event, these become great money grinders. So the other tabs that you have on the Terrorbyte is the resupply missions. I wouldn't recommend it, as most of the businesses, it's better to just buy the supplies. However, if you are determined to do resupply missions, the only one I would say not to do from here is the hangar cargo missions, as you will still have to go to the hangar to start the mission, and that will obviously eat into your time. However, there is a money grinding method with special cargo, but I'm not going to go into that just here. I'm going to save that one for another video. And then last, not least, the Oppressor. The Oppressor is the most hated vehicle and the most loved vehicle in GTA Online. Money grinders love it because it's the best vehicle for maneuvering around the map, and griefers love it because it takes players out so quickly. But whether you're a money grinder or a griefer, you will need the Terrorbyte to be able to upgrade the Oppressor. So what you want to do is store the Oppressor in the back of the vehicle, and then once you sit on it, you'll be able to access the vehicle workshop. From here, you can do all types of different upgrades. You can upgrade obviously the engine like normal, change how it looks, and for the weapon, you want to add the rockets. You don't want to bother adding the explosive MG rounds. However, before you buy the Oppressor, I suggest running 5 of the Terrorbyte missions to unlock the trade price. Normally it's around 4 million, but if you get it at the trade price, it's around 3 million. So you save yourself a mil just from doing 5 missions, which you're also earning money from. Overall, the nightclub is the best passive income business to own. However, it does cost a lot to set up and get the most out of it. What I would say is this is the best business to own last. There are plenty of other businesses you should buy before this one. If for some reason you did buy this as your first business, be thankful that now the daily income in the nightclub has been increased, because before that, this was the biggest waste of money as a first business to own. But saying all of that, once you've set this business up, it requires such little maintenance, which which is what makes it the best passive income. But overall, this is a must-have business to have, and the Terrorbyte is a must-have vehicle for money grinding, and the Oppressor, as much as we hate being killed by it, it is a must-have. So there was a lot I tried to cover in this video, so if you made it all this way, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel out a lot and means a lot to me. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.